All right. Shalom, Israel. This is the brother Awar Ba coming back to you again with another quick lesson. Before I kick it off, I'm going to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful and humble elect that are out there doing this work in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the planet Earth. Helping to elect the house of David so we can get the heck out of here, man. Okay, so today's topic, what I want to go into, was just some of the things in the law, things that were a part of Israelite culture that we cannot keep or that will be frowned upon by today's society or by society today. Okay, and so what I want to do in this lesson is just kind of highlight some key things that we aren't able to keep. Hopefully all through the Spirit will be edifying. Okay, so the first one that I would like to take a look at is a high holy feast day that we have, and it just passed. It was the Passover, and we're going to highlight some of the things that are key about the Passover that we can't keep at this time in modern day time, just due to the things and the laws, the statutes that, our oppressor, the biblical Edomite, has put in place. Okay? And so we're going to take a look at that, but we know through the Spirit we just rehearse the righteous acts. Okay? And so we do the best that we can. But let's take a look at a few things. Okay? So this is Exodus chapter 12, and I'll start at 1. Okay? And it says, "And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you." Okay, so it's, after Passover for us in the Israelite culture, this is our new year. Okay? Verse 3, "Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house." All right. Now there are certain codes and penal codes or whatever that Esau has set up to where you can't even have a certain type of animal like that unless you have a permit. All right. So, that'll be something that'll be stopped right then and there by today's society. Okay. So let's continue. "And if a household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening." All right, so we already know right then and there, if the self-proclaimed white man seen or heard about a congregation of Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, killing lambs or goats in a mass amount or a big amount, they'd have something to say about that. They'd say it was inhumane, or there's permits we need for that, or who practiced this or practiced that. They would have a lot to say about it, just from us killing an animal that we're going to consume. Okay. Verse 7, and this is going to come up to the point. This is the point right here. "And they shall take of the blood, and strike it on the two side posts and on upper doorposts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it." Okay, so with this right here, if we took the blood of the Passover and struck it against the posts of where we live, the self-proclaimed white race would have a heart attack. We would be kicked out of our homes, a lot of us. Will be evicted. They'll have a lot to say about it. you know? And so this is something that was mandatory in our culture and that we are supposed to keep from generation to generation. Okay? So I'm going to read verse 7 again, and it says, "And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper doorpost of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, like Esau would do, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the purtenance thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until morning ye shall burn with fire." Okay? And that's another thing. So if we're setting fires, and just burning our trash, and this is just doing it the proper way. I mean, if you really actually think about it, what's so wrong with burning the scraps that you have, that are left over? Okay? See, the way that the self-proclaimed white man has things set up, okay, here, is you have to go through him for every single thing. Everything. Whether it's burning trash, whether it's getting meat, whether it's gathering at the market, whatever it is, jobs, anything. You have to go through the Edomite in order to get it. Okay? Which also was prophesied. That's a prophecy that has already come to pass. Okay? But I'm going to continue. So now 12 is going to be the point. Actually, 12 and 13. Okay? Actually, I'm going to continue to read in 11 just to go. "And thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, and your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord Yahweh's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord." Here's the point. "And the blood that you're putting on the posts, all right, of your home, and the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And I will see the blood, and I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt." All right. "And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever." So, okay, so that's just one of the things that would be frowned upon, which is putting the blood, killing the animal, and putting the blood across the top of our doors. All the other nations will look at us as sick individuals for doing that. Okay, but hey, that's why they're separate. That's why we are who we are, and that's why they are who they are. Okay. All right. So the second thing I want to take a look at is just keeping the Sabbath, the keeping of the Shabbat. Okay, which is a very important thing in our culture, but a lot of people just take it for granted. Okay, and the Lord wasn't playing around when He told you 6 days you shall keep it, or you shall work, and 1 day you shall rest. All right, and I'm just loosely paraphrasing on this, but we'll get the scriptures and we'll bring it out. Okay, so this is talking about keeping of the Shabbat. All right, now with the Shabbat, the Lord was very serious about this because He made the earth in 6 days and He rested on the seventh. Okay, so we're just gonna get the scriptures and we're gonna bring it out. So this is Exodus 20. We're gonna start at 8 and we're gonna work our way down. All right. So this is Exodus 20 verse 8. It says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work." All right. "But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, nor thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maidservant, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates." Okay? So, that word right there, Salat. But as he says in verse 10, let's deal with that. He says, "But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. and you shall not do any work. Okay, so any type of work at all, meaning you're supposed to be off, you're supposed to be relaxing. Okay, you ain't supposed to do no work, and nobody in your household is not supposed to do any work. Okay, so verse 11, for in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day, just like I was speaking about earlier. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Okay, so he made it hallowed, he made it holy, separate. Okay, that's what that's about, and that's what I was actually looking for when I took a brief pause. Okay, the word hallowed. Now, in today's society, that would be completely unacceptable. Okay, you couldn't just have a day to where you're going to be off the same day or at different times each week. Now some people will say, well, I can do that, I can make my own schedule, but that's not the way that it is for the entire congregation or the entire nation of Israel. Okay, we're subject to payment, so we have to do what our oppressor tells us we have to do. All right, and a lot of times we can't just keep that day completely. Okay, because we'll end up losing jobs, we'll end up losing our place of employment, our way of living, making a living. And so this thing was a big deal because the Lord had a strict consequence for breaking the Shabbat. Okay, and we're finna find out what that is. So this is Exodus 31, and we're gonna start at 14. Okay, and it says, ye shall keep the Shabbat or the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Okay, everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. All right, so let's pause for a second. So you telling me that the good Lord that made the heavens and the stars said that he and everything in the earth, that if you break this day or you do some work in this day, you should be put to death? Yes, that's exactly what that's saying. Okay, for those of you that don't believe that the Lord is about balance, he bringeth forth life and he bringeth death. Okay, but this is strict. Okay, so the Lord wasn't playing about this. He said, you shall keep the Shabbat, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For so whoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from amongst his people. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. So whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant, which means forever. That word perpetual is forever. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, so there's absolutely no way that we can keep it. We keep it to the best of our ability here, but we can't keep it to the way that we're supposed to keep it, as the way that the Lord actually had written it out for us to keep. But in our kingdom, best believe that the Shabbat will be kept the way that it's supposed to be kept. Excuse me. And so with that, that's pretty much the point that I wanted to go into and what I wanted to make. And before I get out of here, I'm just going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who will well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful and humble elect. Shalom.